Morning traders, it's Thursday 17th of June 2021. So in yesterday's update I mentioned that there was FOMC 7 p.m. UK time last night, and there was some other news as well, but that was the kind of big one from the US that can often cause volatility, and we definitely saw volatility, and we've seen the market liking what they heard and just buying dollar. I mean, this was yesterday's dollar candle after FOMC. You can actually see, if you look carefully, where the FOMC announcement was. Here it literally what was the date yesterday, the 16th. So literally since the 11th of June, literally not doing anything at all, just bouncing up and down, and all of a sudden, bang, FOMC, and then we get this movement here, a little correction, and we've started to see buying again this morning. So not too sure whether anyone would have caught that move, but well done if you did. Is now the right time to start buying the dollar? Not with my personal trading style. I mean, a lot of amateur traders will often what's called buy the extension and not the bounce, which means basically they're buying or they're getting into the trade far too late in the impulse, and where you'd be expecting price to correct first. If this was going to carry on to the upside, for instance, then I'd be looking for a correction to take place. Now it is actually coming into it has actually come into an interesting area as it happens. These highs here I noticed, and we're getting a slight bit of rejection, so which is why I wouldn't jump on the US dollar right at this moment in time. Okay, if anything, look for a correction. Now if you drop to the 1 hour, zoom out a bit, zoom in I should say. When you zoom in, you can often see things more clearly, or rather zoom out, I get it right, zoom out and just get all those candles and price action on that page, so we can really clearly see what's happening. So I can see a level here of resistance. I can also see a level around here where price could come back to. Now as well, some of you might use moving averages. This is the 200, the 50 and the 20, and you might be looking for price to come back and pull back into the averages before looking for a buy setup. But you can see, if I just delete these levels, you can see just from having those moving averages on that price is a fair distance away from the moving averages, where price will move away, come back, move away, come back. That's the normal flow and cyclicity of the market. It really just depends on how strong this demand is for the dollar, but I would suggest that right at this moment in time, I'd be more in favor of waiting for a correction if you wanted to start buying it. Okay, so EMAs, not everybody's cup of tea, but they give you a clear indication of when something is what we call overbought in an uptrend or oversold in a downtrend, and this does really look overbought, and it does look as though it needs a correction before we may see upside or not. So just wanted to drop that in the video today, really, that dollar's doing very, very well, but is it now the right time to buy it? Not necessarily. So really I just wanted to concentrate on that, and that'll go for pretty much all of these dollar pairs. But GBP USD is actually coming to a nice level. Let me just show you this. Can you see this resistance here? Look, you can even drag that across. Look, resistance all across here, and now support. So we might actually see some buyers of GBP USD at this point. May do, okay? We may see that correction on the US dollar, some downside. We could see a little bit of upside on pound USD. Alright, so keep your eyes open on that one. CAD's been flying. We talked about this a couple of days ago. We were actually looking for yeah, there was this nice trade here as we broke and retested and went, but then there was this level here which we needed to see a clear break, about the 122 level. And you know, the ideal scenario is, you can see that rejection there at 122. The ideal scenario is to trade this long. It was a break and close above, retest, and then look for buyers to come in. So that could actually still be the case. You know, this is overextended. It'd be nice to see this big level and big number retested for a long setup. Now, whether you place a buy limit, for instance, and a stop below here, you'll have to do your own analysis, or whether you just set an alert on your trading software like that, and you can put previous resistance at 122. Okay, so when your alert goes off, tells you why. Because listen, this may not come and hit the alert for a couple of days, might not be till next week, and you might think, okay, why did I set that alert? So if you've got the option to put a comment there for your alert, then do that. And you know, if you are looking to go long on USD CAD, this will probably be the most ideal place to buy from. And like I say, you can either have that buy limit in place or have an alert, look to see if buyers come in at that point, and then decide if you want to take the trade or not. So this one's kind of out of the picture for me at the moment. Now you may know that I was looking at a certain trend line for gold. In fact, there was another one as well. There was this. I was interested in longs originally, but with that dollar strength, this has just been sinking. So FOMC has kind of thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, I've got to admit. I'm looking for either a bounce off here or a bounce off here or a bounce off the kind of that intersection. We've dropped lower. We've actually closed lower than this trend line. Alright, so I'm going to delete that. We've closed lower than this trend line, which is acting as resistance. So, you know, my alert went off, but there's no real trade there because price basically kept on dropping. There was a two, as you can see, there was a 2 4-hour buy candles there. Now there may have been a setup. I mean, this was in the early hours. There may have been a setup by going up with a buy stop above here and a stop below there. You know, even just trading what could be a correction. I can see this little level of support there. So we may have just come back and retested that and gone further down. Or we could actually break further to the upside. Depends what happens with the dollar. So what I am seeing at the moment is potentially a double bottom forming. We seem to have found a base. And we do have the US dollar at resistance. We've also got the euro at support. So maybe we could see some USD weakness now, or correction, should I say. Let me just show you the euro. Here, look. So, potential double bottom on gold. We may see some short-term upside on that. Maybe it would lead to a bigger upside. Got the euro at a nice level. Got the dollar at resistance. So, let's see what happens. I would not jump on the dollar buys right at this moment in time, but that's me personally. You'll have to incorporate my 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 thinking into your own analysis, put it that way. All right, guys. So listen, trade safe, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye.